Hi loves, I want to start today's video with a question for you. If being hard on yourself took you this far in life, imagine what being loving towards yourself can do for you. And I know there is a lot of talk about self-care and self-love, and it's easy to believe that self-love is just accepting yourself, accepting your shortcomings, and kind of like being passive, being okay with that. But that's a huge misconception. And that's always that I see time and time again with my clients. It's loving yourself, it's not about being passive. And it's the same as when you love someone. Loving either yourself or another person is an action. It's something that you actively do. And the thing about loving yourself is that, and let me give you some examples of my own life. When I still didn't love myself a couple of years ago, 4 years ago, I got myself into a situationship as a lot of fellow women out there could probably tell me about too. I got into this situationship because, at the beginning it was just fun. We were having fun and I didn't feel that I wanted to have a partner. So it was okay at the beginning. But then when the time started passing by, I realized that I didn't feel good in that situation. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel cared about in that situation. Because when you start discovering and when you start being honest with yourself about the things that you want, I realized that I either wanted a relationship, like a committed, loving relationship, or I wanted to just be alone. This situationship in the middle was a mess because it wasn't one thing or the other. And of course, in dynamics like this, you attract people that are on your same level of awareness and of self-love. So I got a lot of push and pull, and we are together and we are not. And every time that I was trying to set the boundary of like, okay, this is enough, the guy, of course, came back telling me all the things that I wanted to hear. And we kept on doing that for almost 3 years. Now I think about it and I'm like, wow, how could I be in a place like that where I felt so unloved for so long? But things like that help us bring light to the things that we still have to work on in ourselves. Because after those 3 years, after that finally ended, I realized that even though I thought that I had self-love and that I was okay with myself because I was still doing things on my own, I traveled alone, and I had no issue just going to a place and sitting alone for a dinner or going to a concert alone. Like, those are things that I've been doing for, I don't know, 8-10 years now. So those things came really easy for me. And I thought that was what loving myself meant. But then I realized that the way that I loved myself was present and show up in all the different areas of your life, of my life in that case. And it showed up in the way that I tolerated situations that I knew deep down were not good for me. And that wasn't loving toward myself. So here is what I want you to think about. If you don't feel like you love yourself enough right now, and that is perfectly fine, because as with everything, it's a process. It takes some time to get used to being loving towards yourself, because most of us grew up being really hard on ourselves, especially if you are anything like me, that you are the oldest sister, you grew up in a Latino family and middle class, and you are used to do it all alone. You are used to get things done. You are used to have this image of the perfect girl, the good girl. It's even harder to understand that you don't need to be bad towards yourself. You don't need to hate yourself into doing things. You don't need to be so hard on yourself to get things done, to be lovable, to fit in places that you don't really want to fit in. So if you are still, let's say, in the early phase of learning how to be more loving towards yourself, learning how to be more patient towards yourself, that's a big one too. If you're in those phases, what you need to be focusing on right now is in accepting yourself. And hear me out. Accepting yourself so you can stop that inner battle, that inner chatter, those negative thoughts and feelings that you have towards yourself. You need to accept yourself so you can stop that inner war that you have only with yourself. Because that will free up a lot of mental energy that you're now using to be hard on yourself, to be hating towards yourself, to be unloving towards yourself. And accepting yourself does not mean that you are okay with how things are, that you are okay with whatever you got and you don't want to improve, or that you don't want nothing else from life. It has nothing to do with that. Accepting yourself is the first step into getting those things. Once you are able to truly accept yourself for who you are and the life that you have right now in this moment, you free up all that mental space that you use to criticize yourself. And that opens up space, time, possibilities for you to actually act and to actually then, yes, improve those things that you want to get improved. But trying to improve your life or to change something about yourself while hating yourself, that takes a whole unnecessarily energy, and also are those things that are quite opposite and you're trying to do them at the same time. So imagine the tension, the friction that you feel if you say, I'm not good enough, but at the same time you are trying to do all these things to prove that you are good enough. When you're able to accept, okay, in this area, I might still need to learn this and these things. You get peace of mind. And from that peace of mind of accepting that, then you can move from a complete different energy, from a complete different perspective. You can lovingly, maybe for the first time in your life, move towards the things that you want and that you desire, and you will have the mental capacity and the energy to do that. But again, it all starts with stopping that inner war, inner criticism, inner battle that you have with yourself and with your shortcomings and with the things that you see as bad. Maybe they are not even that bad, but you've been told or you learned that those things were bad. So it all starts with acceptance. That's the message that I want you to really get from today's video. When you accept yourself for who you are and exactly where you are right now, then you're able to move forward and to go and to claim the things that you want from a completely different perspective, from a completely different energy. And for that, I want to gift you my 10 minutes love from within meditation. I'm gonna drop the link down below. This meditation, it's like a warm hug to your heart. Just relax, listen to it, and I promise you, you will feel so much better. The more that you do it, the better that you will feel, and those loving thoughts and things are gonna come easier to you when you practice it. Sending you so much love and see you soon.